What is going on, bros? This is BDLM coming to you with my buddy J4Y, bringing you Brocast Breakdown episode number 4. What's going on, buddy?
Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, this is going to be a hopefully exciting game. We only got a couple of our friends in this one, as you'll, if you remember correctly. Terps, Gay Cowboy, that great name, and then Gino Beam. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, originally when we started doing these breakdowns, we were just going to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to jump into random pub games, but apparently our friends enjoy the limelight, and we enjoy actually seeing them play well. So
Sometimes.
yes. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get this last guy to load up here any second now, and I guess depending on who we see as far as picks and stuff, we'll kind of focus our, discussion on, helping everybody improve their play, which is kind of the whole point of these breakdowns.
So as you see, we're going into the awesome all pick right away. Who's our favorite bounty hunter?
Absolutely.
Of course, they're probably they're against that maybe. Yeah, they're against that. That's those two clanmates on the other team. Going with Lifestealer and Bounty Hunter already, so very aggressive, damaging team. And then Gay Cowboy to counter pick it. Really smart there.
Yeah, Slardar is fantastic. Bounty Hunter, he's been really popular since the patch. We'll have to see how long that lasts. Ursa is still kind of around quite a bit, even though it's been weeks since he was released. Oh, here we go. Ursa picked up by Revog.show. Gino Beam playing his staple.
Yes, he plays that Dazzle pretty much every game. Oh, that or Omni Knight, and I think I like his Dazzle a little more.
Yeah, we can see on the other side of the board, Venomancer picked up, love that, and of course Tinker, fantastic mid-hero. We'll have to see how these lanes break up. I mean, you could see Lifestealer and Ursa go jungle, or you could see them in the lane, they're strong. Either way, Lion finishes up the picking for the opposing team.
Wow, so I already really do like the Sentinel or Radiance. Sorry, the Radiance's response with that Slaughter Ursa. When you see the other team getting that Bounty Hunter and Lifestealer, you know they're going to be in your face melee heroes, and Slaughter and Ursa are really good to counter that. I mean, Ursa just by himself, he'll turn on you and just start annihilating you with that, Fury Swipes and Overpower. So, like I said, I'm really liking that. Picking up right there. So, yeah, and then it looks like they're going to have Leshrac probably going to go a support maybe role, possibly middle, depends, I guess. Like I was saying in a previous cast we did, usually we like to see Bounty Hunter go middle, but it appears he's going to actually go top.
Yeah, he might probably solo top here. I mean, that's normally where I camp out, where Lifestealer is right now. If I'm going to wind up going into the jungle there. The only unfortunate thing about picking up Ursa is if you want to synergize with your ultimate, you're going to try and pick up a lot of life, and of course the Lifestealer does lifesteal based on your health. So we'll have to see if he goes a really tanky route on this Ursa, or if he kind of just does go for the standard kind of agility melee items.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be Ursa Dazzle in the short lane here for the Radiance, as well as Leshrac middle, who's going to face up against a Tinker. We'll see how actually that goes. And then, of course, Slardar with that Shadow Shaman. That's a very, very powerful lane against a Sully Bounty Hunter. He's going to have a lot of issues farming up.
Yeah, they really need to keep him held down. We'll have to see how much pulling Lifestealer does for him. Yeah, if they can keep him out of the lane and really stop him from getting those levels, they can really help set it up for the late game. If they can get Slardar early levels too, that's going to be even better to help take care of that Bounty Hunter, and just getting the amplified damage on him so that he can't go invisible is going to be key to this matchup.
Absolutely. And also I want to point out, they didn't get there quite in time, but you see this Observer Ward here placed in his creep camp. If you actually can place that before that 30-second mark, that's when all the neutral camps spawn. That's going to prevent actually that from spawning in the first place. You can't even get that initial pull. But it looks like they didn't get there in time, but when they do that first pull and they die, they're not going to respawn until that ward is either countered or, I guess, just eventually fades away. And then you'll see the second one here, that's going to be for rune control. On the other side, very similar, of course, the rune control, and then they did get there before that 30 seconds, so they're not even going to be able to pull unless they decide to buy a counter ward.
Yeah, it's actually funny when you think about supports in competitive play. I know at least Crystal Maidens, they'll pick up both Observer and Sentry wards and when they go into that bottom lane if they're on the Radiant side, just because you're expecting that ward to be there. And I think it's funny when you try to play a high-end support, you're thinking, okay, they're going to do this, and you wind up buying the Sentry ward, you throw them down, you're like, aha, there's nothing there, because the other team didn't do it. But, you know, it's always nice to just take those hits just for the sake of being able to say you played well. And yeah, there you go. How do you see this middle lane turning out here?
I just want to throw a quick note in. When you are trying to counter ward, if you think they did put a ward there, make sure not to put your counter ward near the spawn, because then you can block it yourself, and that's going to do just as much damage as countering in the first place.
And I do that all the time. The Sentry ward doesn't last as long as the Observer ward, but yeah, you want to try and place it outside. The actual revealing area of the ward is rather large, so you don't have to even get it into close enough that it might even be a question. You can kind of place it a good distance outside and be okay.
Yeah. So as you asked me how I think this middle would fare, I mean, Leshrack's usually pretty squishy. Actually, you see our friend Terps here did go double gauntlets of strength, so it's got kind of a little extra health boost. He'll probably wait, hopefully get that 600 gold and get a bottle so he can maybe get some rune control going. Obviously, Tinker, most cases, will try to go straight for a bottle and then into probably a Boots of Travel. And the reason, of course, he does that is with his ultimate, Rearm. That resets cooldowns on not only your spells, which are generally like 20 or 30 seconds, really long cooldowns as you can see here, but then it also resets item cooldowns such as Boots of Travel, so essentially you can go to any lane you want to, use all your spells, and then port back to base and do rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I mean, the other nice thing too is when you're thinking about different items to reset, you get like Yule Scepter, Divinity, you get Sheepstick. Those things are such powerful crowd control spells. And the other thing, too, is being able to combo your spells and use Rearm, very mana-intensive. But if you think about picking up stuff like the Sheepstick, where you're getting a lot of passive int and some mana regeneration, that's going to help you be able to use those moves as often as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully, Leshrack does a good job in middle, trying to deny him, keep him not as farmed, and obviously Tinker's probably going to look to, he's going to get this haster and probably actually look to set something up here on top since they're so pushed up. But they do have that ward for vision, and he maybe is aware of that, and he's just going to head back and just keep harassing and keep farming up until he gets, something going good. I was going to mention something that I do not remember now.
Excellent.
So that's, well, first of all, the Shackle pickup, obviously a really smart idea in this top lane. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to see how much farm. He is 6-0 against a 15-8 and a 9-0, so obviously he is getting pretty shut down, to say the least, here.
Yeah, I mean, this combination, as we said earlier, it's so strong. Shackles, and then the stun from Slardar, and then, of course, the sheep from the Shadow Shaman whenever he gets that leveled up. That's a kill right there. I mean, there's really not much he can do to get out of that at that point. So he has to play really passively up by this tower. You're really going to have to see ganks from Lifestealer and Tinker to really try and shut this down. The nice thing about the Tinker is he uses that laser and it gives the blind, so that'll help against some of those random bash procs from the Slardar. But yeah, they really need to try and get some help up here for this Bounty Hunter, because he's a big part of what they're going to have to rely on in the later parts of these games.
Yeah, I mean, Lifestealer's getting a really nice farm. He's already got Blades of Attack, Gloves of Haste, looking to go a really quick armlet, I would guess. Very common build on him, of course, since he lifesteals so much from hitting these big creeps and these strength heroes. Eventually he'll go up against Ursa with a lot of health. Actually, Ursa getting dropped down by this Tinker. Dazzle's going to slowly extend how much longer he's going to live, but obviously he's also going to drop. So nice set up by that Tinker, who maybe still had that haste through, and I'm not sure if it wore off. Leshrack looked like he came in, but just not in time.
Yeah, no Scroll of Town portal in this Leshrack. Couldn't get down fast enough to really help out there. It is good to see that Tinker is trying to... Oh, we're actually going to see them meet here in the jungle. Is Terps going to be able to do anything to him? We'll have to see. The good laser put out by Tinker. Missed stun by Terps, and he's going to stick around a little too long. He's going to get taken out. Will this Tinker survive? It looks like he might, as we've talked about with Ursa before. He's so kiteable. He doesn't have anything to really stop. He doesn't have any points in Earth Shock, so he is not going to be able to slow down that Tinker, and it's going to get picked off by that laser. Not very smart. When you have that kind of team support, you can't really do those skirmishes, especially when you're thinking of a hero like Leshrack, who sort of has the potential to do a lot of quick damage, but not like heroes like, Queen of Pain or a Thunderbringer, someone who can just drop somebody. Here in the top lane, we're going to have to see if Lifestealer is going to be able to pick up a kill. He's going to go after this Slardar, but because of the sprint, he's going to be just fine. Looks like we're going to have a nice stun here, try and help his buddy get away. In comes a port. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Leshrac finally does pick up a port. Are they going to be able to go in on this Bounty Hunter? He actually gets really low. The track is up on this Slardar, so he's going to get movement speed around him, unfortunately, so he's going to get away just fine.
Yeah, that's the second Split Earth I've unfortunately seen Leshrac miss. And when it is only rank 1, it's got that 150 radius. It's just not so easy to hit, of course, and it has that cast time, so you really got to be on top of that. And so, yeah, you're seeing a lot of movement come around now, a lot of good ganks being set up. And actually, that was something some people were questioning about his Slithering Crush, because I know at least maybe in previous games it was definitely just a physical attack. But as you saw there, Lifestealer didn't pop his rage, and he didn't get stunned when he used the AoE. So it's good to point that out, I guess, that doesn't work against Magic Immune Mons.
Split Earth does hit there, but unfortunately Terps is going to get taken out here. Fight breaks out in the Dire jungle. Tinker looks like he will get away, moving very quickly, so no problems there. Still not 1 point in the Earth Shock by Ursa. That feels like quite a misstep to me. When I hate to say it again, but we talked about how kiteable he is, how much he needs to be able to sit on top of heroes in order for him to get kills. You just think you'd want to pick up, that ability. Lion drops his ulti here in the bottom lane, picks up a kill. Good to see a lot of slow and CC in this lane. You know my problem with this. You know my problem with it. Poison Sting is probably... Yeah, I just would much rather see points in either wards or the Q. It's a really good harassing ability with the W. Oh, Leshrac's trying to get a good kill here on Lion, but he's not going to be able to push very far because of the slow and CC potential. I really struggle to think of situations where I wouldn't want to put points in wards. I mean, look at that. They were pushed up to the tower. They did get a TP to go down there. They were able to force that, but they could have done a lot of damage to that tower, and I would much rather see wards in that situation. I do want to ask you, what do you think about the way Leshrac's leveling up? Before we saw him, 1, 2, and 3. Now he's 1, 2, and 4. Would you have liked to see maybe more points put in the queue so that he can... Oh, game is paused. Would you perhaps have liked to see more points in queue so that it's a little bit easier to land that stun? I'm thinking actually taking at least 1 point out of the W for that queue.
I mean, that's obviously very debatable depending on how you play it, your style, I guess, with him. I personally think W is actually my favorite ability on him. I like to max that out generally in most cases first. Lightning, I mean, maybe that has some good potential just because he was against a Tinker who's super long range and he's not so easy, obviously, to get in close range with. But, I mean, to a point, Split Earth, I mean, it only really increases 75 radius. Which isn't a huge deal. And then if you do miss that, if you were leveling it up and you miss it, that's a lot of damage you missed. Whereas, the Lightning Storm, that's a guaranteed hit. So, I guess I could see it going both ways. I probably am with him on the sense of leveling that over the Split Earth. But in my opinion, I think Diabolic Edict is probably his most powerful move, the way he can get kills. On a couple of these heroes.
Yeah, I guess the other thing, too, is the stun duration stays the same on the Split Earth, too, so really just increasing the damage and the radius, so I guess I can definitely see that. And we did see, actually, earlier where Leshrac was able to put up some harass onto Tinker and get him pretty low, actually, because he was leveling the Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Slardar deciding to go middle here. That's a lot of support for no real reason. Actually, Shadow Shaman, good choice to fall back. He didn't even really have vision. I guess he was just having that map awareness. Actually, what's interesting to point out is look at these sentry wards set up here in this lane. I guess really kind of scared of this bounty hunter. I mean, it's a great idea. I do like the idea of having at least one sentry ward in your lane when you know he's pretty much going to stay in that lane for a duration of the game. And it looks like they're going to try to set something up here. Probably some action going down here.
Yeah, it looks like we'll have to see if Terps can get a stun. Look how fast Ursa goes down. He is going to drop to the laser, pardon my random coughing. Lifestealer is actually just going to help take out this Terps. The nice words dropped by Shadow Shaman. No CC, though. If they would have, instead of using the Ether Shock, tried to hold him in place, then that certainly would have been a kill. But unfortunately, looking to do that upfront damage and, lets the kill get away. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, they obviously did not coordinate that attack very well, to say the least. I mean, there was a lot of random damage going around, but when it came down to trying to get a kill, wow, Tinker going down almost half health just while running into these Serpent Wards. They do a lot of damage. You gotta be careful. Those good Slaughter are out there. Now you definitely know where he is at all times. He obviously is going to Perseverance, which makes you think the common Battle Fury strategy onto him, so he can farm up creeps and do a lot of burst damage when he pops out stealth with that Janata. In this game, would you agree to maybe get that item first?
What item?
The Battle Fury on Bounty
Sorry,
Hunter.
I was thinking about the Sentry Ward still. I had that in my mind. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the nice thing about Battle Fury is it gives you the damage. That's going to, of course, help your Janata do more damage. It gives you the mana regen, help you throw more Shriekins. And when you're having this hard of a time farming your lane, it is nice to pick that up so that you can kind of ramp up later on in the game. It's a nice investment for the late game. I did want to talk about those Sentry Wards. Because they have such a short duration, we see Lion actually picks up another kill in the bottom lane. Ulti makes it very easy to do, and as you can see, he did drop it in order to pick up that kill. If you're keeping an Invis hero in kind of a regular part of the lane, drop one of your wards. If you initiate on him and he gets into another position, keep that second Sentry Ward on you so that you can drop it in case he gets himself into a different situation, or so that you can just refresh that Sentry Ward when it finally goes down. You know, they don't last very long. See a good stun here from Terps. Will he be able to pick up this kill? Yes, he does, but in comes Lion, misses the stun, and now Ursa looks to come in and try and lay up some support. Will they be able to get him? Yes, they do. Leshrac is going to look to run away. Now Ursa is getting a nice dot from, from Venomancer, and that will be enough to take him out. Leshrac, though, will get away. He's going to use that bottle, get himself some health and mana, and go back to farming this middle lane against Venomancer.
Yeah, and as you see now, he's leveling up Diabolic Edict right after. So doing a good job here. The wards were used, but still not going to be enough to finish anyone off. I mean, they're having so many issues in this top lane. You'd think they'd, since they had that really strong early game, I guess, but now, like, Bounty Hunter's already caught up to it in a sense. I mean, he's got his Perseverance and boots. He's already got 1,200 gold banked. He's doing just fine, and it's unfortunate Lifestealer couldn't get a kill on either of those people, because now they're just going to remain in this really great farm state action. Look at that gold chart, and that shows right there. Already 13 minutes in the game, almost 5,000 gold in the Dyer's advantage.
Yeah, I mean, 3 to 13. All those kills in that top lane, you know, you think Bounty Hunter was just kind of even just around there to soak up some experience, which I'm sure he desperately needed. He is getting those ganks up there like he needed, and is getting the support from Lifestealer, so that's good to see that they are exhibiting a good amount of teamwork to try and make sure that he can stay in the game.
No, absolutely. So Leshrac obviously farming up now. He's got a couple bracers, so I guess he's realized he's had a lot of trouble staying alive. And a little mention here, he haven't put any points in his ultimate yet, which early on Leshrac, it really gets mana intensive. I mean, 20 a second doesn't sound like a lot, but it's 110 in that initial cast as well. So when you have that on just for like 5 seconds, that's about 210 mana right there. Combo that with all his other spells, which of course he's going to end up using. That's like almost half his mana, so it's definitely reasonable not to put points in that until he has a bigger mana pool to work with.
What item might you expect Leshrac to look to pick up here? Actually, he picks up a kill online in the jungle. Nice to see. He's able to get away, and does have that bottle there, so he's going to be able to regen up again and continue to farm if he likes. But yeah, what do you expect him to wind up getting? I'm actually thinking maybe the Sorcerer's Shoes?
I mean, you can go a couple directions. A lot of people like to get phase boots just to get the speed increase, so you can chase people down with that Diabolic Edict. Honestly, I don't even know if I would put a preference in leveling up boots right now. They definitely should have no trouble killing this Tinker. Almost, actually. Tinker took how much burst damage. He can almost kill Leshrac with just his 2 spells.
Swinging a miss by Lion there, unfortunately not getting the stun. Yeah, no ult either.
A couple misses already.
Yeah, well, everybody has a bad day. We'll chalk it up to that for now.
But like I was saying, I think I would, instead of putting focus on leveling up boots, I think I would just go straight for some health items. Maybe get like a point booster. Bloodstone, a pretty. I'm sorry, that's not. Is that what it's called?
Bloodstone.
Okay, it is. I get my terms mixed up too often. Double check myself, I guess, a lot. Second think myself, if you will.
There you go.
But no, I think that an item like this in a game, he really needs that tankiness. So either going for that or like a Staff of the Masters. Either of those items will give a lot of health and mana and add to his pool so he can keep spamming spells throughout the fight and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that'd be a really good decision. I am wondering, though, what you're thinking about kind of the strategy that the Raid's been using so far. We see Shadow Shaman's wards are up, and so far every use of his wards has been for the defensive purpose. Would you like to see this Leshrac Shadow Shaman combo really start trying to push on these towers? I mean, I feel like they should have a fairly easy time doing it.
I definitely think so. And I mean, you also have the heals from Dazzle. Ursa, if he uses his overpower, can just get a ton of hits in. And I mean, Furious Hex unfortunately does not work on towers. Or should not work on towers. If it does, we should report it to the beta. But no, I mean, yeah, they do have a lot of decent pushing potential. And I mean, while they do have a Venomancer to help turtle up with, the rest of their team really not as good. Tinker's doesn't have like a big mana pool. He's only got 600 mana, so he can't like sit there and spam his heat-seeking missiles all day to defend. So yeah, I'd really like to see them once the Shadow Shaman with his ultimate, try to do something with it. Actually, he did pick up a Soul Ring, which is not very typical on a Shadow Shaman. Usually, you'll see different kinds of ways for him to get his mana back, like Arcane Boots or something else early, but. Not a bad item, of course, as long as you can make use of that mana, which he's having no trouble doing.
Yeah, I mean, you think between Dazzle, Shadow Shaman, and Leshrac, they're screaming for somebody to pick up those Sorcerer Shoes. We see a Sun landed by Lion and just followed up immediately by that ultimate before the Shallow Grave can get used, picking up another kill for Lion down there at the bottom. It's kind of weird to see. Actually, you have Slardar and Ursa in the top lane, and then in the bottom lane you have Dazzle and Shadow Shaman. Really weird. Nice kill there by Leshrac. Being able to take out that Tinker, and he actually does finish those phase boosts like you were talking about to get that speed boost to be able to keep up with people.
Yeah, interesting choice there. I mean, he's not having too much trouble now surviving. Actually, looks like a die's going down Shadow Shaman. He's going to use that spell and get hit that line. He does land one. Surprise, surprise.
Here comes a kill for Shadow Shaman with those wards. He's going to have to see if Leshrac can get around. Shadow Shaman actually is able to deny the tower with his wards. Great presence of mind, and Leshrac is able to pick up a kill. So finally we see those wards getting some work done. Before they had kind of been rather lackluster, but Shadow Shaman really showing that he is paying attention and is trying to do what he can in this game. Is able to help pick up a kill there and is able to get the 9 on the tower.
Well, you asked for him to get a tower kill with his wards.
I did. That is exactly what I wanted. Not exactly how I was thinking about it, I'll be honest, but that is something that did help his team. So there you go.
Yeah, I have to say that's probably the first time I've seen wards deny something. That'd be more impressive if a Veno ward denied a tower. I would be very impressed by that.
I've seen it, my friend. There was some competitive game. There was one competitive game I watched where I forget who was casting it, but yeah, basically a Venomancer threw a ward, and the person was low health. I don't think he was so low that one ward attack would have done it, but basically he threw his ward and he died or something, and the guy was like, wow, I'd really like to see Venomancer micro that ward. It's like, yeah, I guess, but that's kind of asking a lot, I feel like, in the kind of the speed at which that kind of happened. Looks like Ursa's getting pretty close finishing that Vladimir's offering. Needs to pick up another 150 gold, and then hopefully we'll start seeing some attempts on Kongor. We haven't seen any counter-warding going here in the top river. Looks like Terps is in some trouble. Venomancer drops his ulti. Rocket comes from Tinker. He is certainly going to go down here, and here comes some defensive wards, but because none of the CC is used with those wards, yeah. As you can see, Tinker actually LOLing at the ward placement. That's kind of the problem with using wards in the open field. You should really try and save them for situations when you can put them near a tower, whether it be your own or an enemy tower, to try and kill it, or to set up kind of a defensive stronghold there to stop people from pushing. Or sit him in a position where the heroes are going to be standing for a while. I mean, obviously where you place them now, no one's going to go up there for quite a while, so those are just going to die. I'm actually kind of surprised that the 3 of the heroes mid aren't going up there to farm those wards worth 37 gold apiece, I believe. I think there's, what, 9 of them. So it's actually a pretty significant amount of gold.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it would have been nice, but they would have taken a lot of damage. I guess they figured, hey, there's some creeps middle. Let's do a little bit of damage and see what's going on. Actually, you see Venomancer did end up leveling Plague Ward as his next ability, maxing that out. So now, you know, he's going to have a good pushing presence / defending presence. Overall, I'm a little confused on his build because he's... Okay, so it looks like he's going for Staff and Master. I guess the Ring of Health was just for the laning phase, which he'll turn into something later on in the piece. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I imagine he was probably looking to go for Vanguard first. It's something that you see actually a lot in Han. People go for the Helm of the Black Legion, which is pretty much exactly the same as Vanguard. But, I mean, if you're having that good of a time in the lane, and you feel like you'd just rather go for a more late-game item, you know, Aghanim Scepter is a pretty good pickup on heroes like Venomancer. I generally like to go for the aura items, the support items. What is Lion building, actually, if you don't mind? Help me out here, buddy. Okay, so he hasn't really dedicated himself to any support items. We don't know really what he's going to go yet. But, you know, I think like a Hooded Defiance, maybe not as important as getting a Mechanism, but I think I would like to see a Mechanism over the staff, at least at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they do need some kind of magic resist. I mean, Leshrac, of course, does a ton of magic damage. Dazzle, no, he's not as much. Shadow Shaman really only throws his Ether Shocks out. But still, it'd be nice against that Leshrac, who's going to be, right now, most of their damage in team fights. And actually, throughout the game, he's pretty consistent. If he doesn't get taken down early, he's going to do something. Look at that burst damage already by Bounty Hunter. That was about half of a Slardar health. That shriek is almost killing him. He doesn't have a lot of items. Maybe he's saving for a Blink instead of going for like a BKB, I suppose.
I don't know. Yeah, I actually kind of would have figured he might have wanted to look for Vanguard in the earlier stages of the game, just because he was laning against a melee hero, and because he knows he's going to be getting this kind of auto attacks from Nyx and from nice dust randomly dropped there. Here comes some CC from the Shadow Shaman and a stun from Terps, picking up a kill there. Very nice play. Got to keep dust on you when you're, you know, fighting these invisibility heroes. It's so important. You know, the sentry wards are nice, but when you're looking to kill heroes in the open field, that's what you got to go for. Go for the dust, because, you know, the wards, people are going to run in and out of range of those things. So the dust is actually going to help seal the kills in this kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Dazzle really beyond where he should be. I mean, it looks like Leshrac's going to try to do as much as he can, but now he's kind of overextended. Here comes the Lifestealer with the slow, and that's going to be an easy kill on that Leshrac. So it just shows to show you shouldn't go past the river without a little vision. I mean, you never know what's hiding up lurking behind that tower.
Yeah, we see Ursa's finished his Vladimir's offering. Hopefully we'll see some counterwarding come out. Actually, we haven't seen anybody buy counterwards quite yet. But, you know, it's really important to try and get control of vision around Kongor so that you can let your Ursa go ahead and ninja that as early as possible. You know, we've talked about it before, but just that extra 1,000 or so gold to your team is, you know, rather big deal. And then also on top of that, you have the Aegis the Immortal, and you're getting closer to the cheese pickups as well for if you can pick up some additional Roshan kills later on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of Ursa's main strengths in the game.
It actually looks like Lifestealer is trying to do it right now.
Which is not a good idea, because his move doesn't work on Roshan.
There you go, yep. You gotta learn through experimentation. Actually, we see in the jungle here, looks like there's some action going on. Nice CC put up on this lion. Looks like a nice bash and stun by Slardar to make sure he gets that kill there. He does have a Mithril Hammer, so he is going to look to go for that BKB. Very strong decision, especially when you look at the team you're going up against. You have the Vino ulti, the Lion stuff. Here we see some good CC again put up by these three heroes, picking up that Bounty Hunter kill. You really have to keep him stunned, hold him in place, and make sure you can pick up those kills.
Wow, they have 3 stuns. And then, technically, Dazzle could... He did actually max out Poison Touch. So 4 technically stuns on their team, and then the Sheep too. That's a lot of hard CC. And then when you're up against a Bounty Hunter, that's pretty crucial, you know. And as you can see there, if they can just keep him down long enough to get a Slardar ult on him, It's going to be really nice. And actually, what I kind of expect Bounty Hunter to do, if he doesn't go... You know what? Never mind. He just threw me for a curve, because apparently Javelin is better.
MKB.
I was going to say BKB. BKB
Yep.
or try to go for that...
That one thing. Yeah.
you know, the thing
With
that
the
does stuff.
Yeah, with the stats on it. Yeah, that thing.
I have to pull up a menu.
Let's go take a look-see here. We can all
It's a Manta style.
Manta
That's
style.
the beautiful
There you
name of
go.
it. I've seen it so many times, you just start forgetting the name. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, that also does remove debuffs on you, such as Slardar's ultimate. So, wouldn't be a terrible pick, and with the way he's been farming, actually, it looks like Ursa getting picked off on his way over to say hello to Roshan, unfortunately.
Yeah, no counter wards place. If you're Ursa and your support isn't supplying the counter wards, then you do it. Because even if you see a ward there and you can't go in on the Roshan, then you're still helping get rid of the enemy's sight. And if you waste 200 gold making sure that there aren't any wards there, well, it's just insurance to help you make sure that you can get that kill safely. We see some Shadow Shaman wards placed down the bottom to no avail. He might actually get picked off in the back here by Venomancer. Up by the tower, though, looks like Leshrac is going to be able to deny the tower. Jay is much more interested in the Slither stuff, though. So
Much more.
Venomancer will actually pick up the kill on the Shadow Shaman with the dot. Tinker is able to pick up the kill on Slardar. Venomancer looking like he might just barely get away. Venomancer picks up a kill, gets himself a triple kill actually, as he gets a kill on Dazzle as well as
dot
Leshrac.
damage.
Yeah, shows you how powerful Slither is, or Venomancer is. Pardon me. Uses that. We saw Dazzle actually use the Shallow Grave. He does have the Aghanim Scepter, so that obviously probably played a big role in that fight there, reducing people's health down quicker, which means that the dot damage you have placed up on people with the Poison Spray and the Venomous Gale will most likely get you a kill. We see a Blink Dagger and a Desolator picked up by Lifestealer. I think I like it. And we see actually Lifestealer picks up a kill on Ursa.
This is the first blink I've seen on a Lifestealer.
Really?
Ever. Yes.
We played a game with the Gay Cowboy, and I forget who it was. It was some pub, but he recommended that the Gay Cowboy pick it up. Basically, after he was bought out, he's like, "Yeah, just pick it up so you can blink on top of people and slow them."
I mean, it's kind of similar to Ursa in the sense that, he has a better gap closer with open wounds, I guess, but still, he does struggle a little bit to get around the map and, anything. I guess I can definitely see it. And if you get the farm he's having, I mean, he's got Dezo and a blink now, 28 minutes in, so he's having no trouble, and an armlet, wow, excuse me. So, obviously, farm is not an issue for him. Actually, a lockdown Venomancer. Wow, he is tanky. He's got 1,600 health. Here from the wards, that is overkill. Wow.
Yeah, see, you really need to save these wards for pushing and defending, or for team fights. But for picking up single kills, it's just not worth it. The long cooldown they have, and really the potential that you could give the enemy team, like I said earlier, you put them in really awkward, random positions, and the other team can just farm them for the good amount of gold they're worth. Here we're going to see them try and go in on this really fat Lifestealer. Are they going to be able to do anything? A good Dazzle ultimate comes in. It's going to do a lot. A good stun by Leshrac as well. It's going to pick up 1 kill, 2 kills. Slardar is able to get the one on Lifestealer. I'll be honest, I did not really expect it to go that way, but a lot of negative armor there between the Dazzle ultimate and the Slardar ultimate.
Wow, that was a really good play, like you said. The split earth hitting both of them really did help out a lot because he waited patiently for the magic immunity from Lifestealer to wear off, so it could affect both of them. So really nice job there. Unfortunately for Lion and Tinker, they just couldn't get over there in time, and it really did hurt them in the end. I also want to point out a pretty good Shallow Grave. At first I wanted to call it a bad Shallow Grave because he used it when Leshrac still had enough health to do anything. But then Tinker just did his nuke combo and almost killed him.
See in the middle, actually, they pick up the tower kill with the ultimate on Leshrac and the Diabolic Edict.
Man, I can't tell which way this game is going.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's going back and forth. It looks like we've seen Lion and Tinker here just really haven't been able to get strong enough farm to get the kind of items they need. Here we see Ursa finally is going to try and do this, but there's a ward nearby, so they may have seen him go into the Roshan pit, and actually we'll see Venomancer. He's probably going to come down here and lay a ward just to see what's going on. It is nice to see, though, that he does have some help Dazzle drops his ultimate to make sure that Ursa won't lose too much health, and we also see that Leshrac came in to help apply some support. That's one thing we mentioned in our podcast episode 4.
Yes.
Yes. That even if you don't have to solo it. If you get it a good portion of the way down, you just call in some help. Get one of your buddies. Hey, just babysit me real quick. I don't want someone to come in behind me, ninja the kill, and then get the Aegis. That could be really detrimental to the team. So, ask for a little bit of help. Even though you can do it by yourself, just ensure that it's going to go exactly the way you want it to.
Yeah, and since they didn't have, they had this word here, but honestly, what Bounty Hunter could have done is just stealthed in there and stolen that Aegis really easily. I guess in that sense, Leshrac did, I thought he had Dust. Maybe he used it actually preemptively to make sure that didn't happen, or not. Either way, though, it might have been worth a chance. I don't know. I guess in the end, it's not a huge deal because they shouldn't have too much trouble killing Ursa if they really focus fire him down. He's definitely not farmed by any means. He did just pick up Vitality Booster, though, in Phase Boots with that Roshan kill, so maybe a little bit tougher to deal with. Leshrac just spent money on a Mystic Staff, so looking like he's completely ignoring my advice and deciding to go for a Sheep Stick.
You see that the Blink Dagger here on Lifestealer is going to pay off. He's just going to force-shot this poor Leshrac. Nothing he can really do about it. He did pop his own personal mini BKB there to go Magic Immune and was able to take him down without a problem. Yeah, I imagine probably Sheep Stick. He's going to go here. Actually, action in the middle. Weird wards yet again. And we see that they will maybe look to pursue. No, they decide to back off. They don't want to force it. They don't want to run across the river and then all of a sudden find the whole team gathered together. Here's your problem with the wards. Now they're not going to do anything until the creeps actually wind up pushing up. And, there are going to be some hero grabs on some of these. So, yeah, the wards are really not doing a ton here.
No, they're dead. So
yeah, I hate to keep bashing on the Shadow Shaman, but like I said, you got to put them by a tower or where there's going to be a team fight for at least 10 seconds. You got to make sure that they're going to be worth their weight in cooldown.
Wow.
Yeah, you like that.
That worked out surprisingly strong.
Well, yes, very strong. I don't know how much a cooldown weighs by second, but,
That of a feather.
Thank you. A rock's feather?
Wow. Anyways, it looks like Dazzle going towards that mech, and I actually thought, yeah, there's already a mech on Shadow Shaman, so a little miscommunication there. You
Double heal.
really don't want to go for two of this. Actually, you know what? Oh, never mind. I was going to say, maybe he could turn that still into that pipe, which he could do, technically, but he already also has the buckler. So, yeah, definitely not great communication. They probably should have figured that out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know I've done it myself, too, where you start building one of those items, and then you're like, oh, we already have it. Whoops. And you kind of hope that it's not, like, pipe, because then you're like, oh, I just spent 6,000 gold for something we already have. Oh, well. But, yeah, he could just, stiff upper lip, sell the buckler, and look to go ahead and complete the pipe instead. Both of those are fantastic items, both mech and pipe. Pretty much the go-tos. Actually see some nice blinking coming out here to try and go in. Some wards placed. Alright, I like these a little bit better. They're actually going to get to attack a little bit. Unfortunately, none of that CC dropped to keep people in range of them. We do see some CC come out now, and that means that Ursa will pick up a kill on Venomancer, but in comes some Tinker Rockets, and Ursa will actually get taken down. He does have the Aegis, though, so he will pop back up, but will it be in time to help his teammates out? Lifestealer able to pick up a kill. It looks like Lifestealer will go down, though, after picking up a kill on Shadow Shaman. Did he die? No, he went into a creep, I think. Bounty Hunter now, looking in dire straits. Will we be able to see Leshrac help pick up a kill? Yes, Leshrac will get the Bounty Hunter kill. Ursa picks up a kill on Lion in the background, rezzing with the Aegis there. And there goes that Lifestealer. He was able to get himself into a creep and then blink himself to safety.
Okay, I love Terps as a friend, but I would like to just comment how he could have played that better. Just in the fact that he didn't use Pulse Nova once in that whole fight. And there's some situations where he was next to a few people, and it probably could have killed them a heck of a lot quicker. He ended the fight with about 800 mana. You don't want to have that much mana at the end of a fight, because, if he dropped and had 800 mana left, that would have been worthless. It wouldn't have helped him out any. So, I understand he doesn't want to try to waste it too much, but when you're in those big situations, you have a Mystic Staff, so you have a ton of mana to work with. Don't be afraid to use that ultimate. I don't know. I think just it's something to be wary of. Like I said, don't sit around. Don't sit on your mana. Try to get a kill with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially with a hero like that, where you do have just that kind of that mana drain. And I've run into this problem on Witch Doctor where sometimes you're just like, you want to keep on those abilities and then you wind up doing it a little bit too long and it's, oh crap, I really needed to stun there, but I didn't have the mana because I had the other thing on. So it's kind of this weird situational thing where I think as you play the hero more and more and more, you really start to get comfortable with how long you can leave those things on, and even if you only turn it on for a couple seconds, I see that's the problem with it as well. It has such that the big upfront cost associated with it. You can't really just like toggle it on for 2 seconds. Like you kind of have to figure out like, okay, is it really worth it to use it in this situation? But yeah, it would have been nice to see him use that there.
Well, I mean, you say big cost, and in the beginning of the game it was, but now at this point it's still 110 throughout the game. The only thing that changes is how much it costs per second. So then it goes up to 60 a second. So it's still 110 though. And with his mana pool at 1500, he's got 3k gold. He's probably going to go and finish up that staff, sheepstick.
Yeah, he's only a couple hundred gold off of it. We actually just saw him pick up the ultimate orb, so he's going to look to finish that up pretty quick as soon as he can get over to the side shop. It looks like there's some grouping up here in the top lane. It looks like the Gate Cowboy really wants to go in here, but oh no, look, Lion's right behind him, overextending himself, really trying to get this kill here. Shadow Shaman comes out of nowhere and looks to put down some wards in a pretty good spot. There you go, buddy. Now all we gotta see is some CC lay down just like that, and that's how you turn fights around. Oh, fantastic job there by everybody involved.
Yeah, all of them did a great job there. Dazzle with that Shallow Grave really just saved Slardar's life. He was able to overextend and get away with it. And then Shadow Shaman, like you said, that was good placement of the wards. I mean, yeah, now they're not going to do anything, but it did set up the 2 kills. And getting kills a Lifestealer at this point in the game is very hard to do and very good to do. So, good job there. They're going to probably try to push back. It's just unfortunate we have yet to see those wards used offensively.
Yeah, we really haven't seen any of that push potential between him and Leshrac yet. I guess, they really haven't had a ton of opportunities in the recent times. We actually see Tinker here picks up a scythe. That's going to be huge. So, Slardar did finish his BKB. Did he?
Slardar?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking of Venomancer when he said Slardar for some reason. I don't know.
Of course Venomancer finished his BKB. Slardar does finish the BKB. He looks like he is well on his way to Assault Curious. Fantastic item. Minus armor to your buddies, and attack speed. Just, spot on.
More bashes.
There you go. More bashes. So, he does have that BKB, so he won't have to worry about that Scythe of Vise too much. We'll have to see, how effective Leshrac can be with his Scythe of Vise.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He does have it as well. You're going to have to assume he's going to now go for one of those tanky items, either a Bloodstone or...
I see Shiva's being...
probably Staff of Masters, I would think. Would be a good pickup at this point, because you have the mana to sustain your ultimate now because you have a sheep stick.
Yeah, that's
and then you get even more from getting all those items as components. So I think I would like to probably see that, or even maybe a BKB. Not as much, but I mean it could help against the Veno ultimate, the Lion damage. It can't get CC. You could just run in with it on and just do as much. So it's got a couple options, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting. Roshan now, actually. Just to see, I guess people are expecting him to res soon. We saw Ursa did check it. Wards are up like mad around there just to make sure that he doesn't get in there and sneak it again. They want to be able to see it and then, let him get it pretty low and then come in there to get some kills and then finish it off and pick up that Aegis. Fortunately, I don't know. I mean, poor Lion, obviously he's a sport hero. You don't really expect him to get a ton of items, but it would be nice to see him pick up maybe at least like a Drum of Endurance. He does have that Bracer. He could actually finish it off right now. Yeah, it's really unfortunate we haven't seen like a really one full item on him yet. Interesting to see that he picks up Phase Boots. I can kind of see it, but what boots does Venomancer have? Does he have Steam Treads?
Yeah, he's got Power Treads.
So, alright, I would really like to see Arcane Boots on one of those 2 heroes. But but, that's just me.
I mean, it's not super necessary. You gotta think, Bounty Hunter's got the Battle Fury for his mana regen. Tinker obviously can just spam all day and go back to base. I don't know. In this lineup, maybe not this point. Maybe it's too late, I guess I would say, to really make great use of it. Ursa almost finishing his BKB, and then he'll be a lot more effective in the future team fights to come. Venommancer getting really close to getting all the items he needs. He might be able to actually buy it. Yeah. So Tinker doing his job. I mean, you can see this is just like a Nature's Prophet. Going to a lane, pushing it down. You kind of putting so much pressure on the other team. They have to defend. They can't really do too much aggression.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was thinking the same thing. Nature's Prophet. This is what you want to do. You want to be able to move around the map, keep lanes pushed up. You want to, pass river as much as you can. Look, he's going to come right back to this lane as soon as the person leaves, and he's going to use March of the Machines to get some creep kills here and do some additional damage to the tower. Just really good play by him, and he's just going to be able to rearm and teleport right back out and do this rinse and repeat until the tower goes down.
Yeah, I mean, this is just unfortunate. I mean, it's not a ton of damage he's doing, but and I used this word before, but like attrition, he's going to eventually wear that thing down, and he's just getting so much damage, so much experience too. He's already level 20, which might be the highest. Okay, him and Leshrac look to be the highest levels in the game, but still, doing a good job at that. Actually, ultimately, I'll pick up Venommancer. It looks like a fight's gonna break out here.
Oh, unfortunately, Gaya Cowboy used his stun a little bit too early. I think he was trying to get a stun on the person TPing in, being Tinker. Looks like Ursa will go down to the life stealer, unfortunately. Gay Cowboy is going to have to start running for his life. The BKB is going to run out, and as soon as it does, we see him drop to the Lion Ultimate. Leshrac just barely able to get out, but no, he's a little bit too close and gets picked up by the Lion stun. And it looks like the last member of the team, Shadow Shaman, will go down as well. 5-for-1. Very unfortunate. I think you can really mark a lot of that up to the miss Slardar stun.
Yeah, and then also Ursa not having his BKB yet. I mean, he got just chain CC by Lion and then ulted, and I mean, he just dropped instantly. And so he was taken out of the fight right away. Bounty Hunter was just destroying Slardar, even with the BKB up. I mean, he just does a ton of auto attack damage, and it definitely showed there. So yeah, they definitely didn't do a good job. Leshrac, once again, didn't have his ulti on that whole fight. And I'm just, not that would have changed how that fight went. They were going to lose that regardless. But every little bit helps,
Yeah, definitely. I think the other thing, I was going to say something. Oh, Barbed Armor would probably be a pretty smart pick up, especially on Slardar. He's going to get right in their face anyway, and Ursa too. The other thing, Ursa, we really want to see the BKB finished. I'd like to see a Blink Dagger on him as well. So we have to kind of, pick our battles as far as which items you can actually really afford to get into the lineup, and we see the Lion actually picks up the Ghost Scepter. Yay, I know names of things. So he is going to be able to go physical damage, immune, although that's going to make him more susceptible to the heroes like Leshrac and Shadow Shaman. Probably worthwhile, as Ursa and Slardar have the potential to just tear him apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty smart pickup, although if he didn't buy it, he would have his Blink Dagger now, so I guess you have to kind of look at both ways, but either way, it's still going to help him out. And I mean, they have an okay initiation without it. It's not great, but then again, you look at another team, their initiation is weak. I mean, if Slardar went a Blink instead of maybe towards this Assault Curious, then they would have a much easier time to start a fight out. And then also, you have to also consider when Slardar uses his sprint, he takes 15% extra damage. So he's in the middle of their team now, and like you saw Bounty Hunter just wrecking him. He's taking 15 extra damage. I mean, it's no big surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of damage that they're able to put out, and it's like we said with Ursa too. Even if he had his Blink Dagger and he could get in and even just slow everybody and make it a little bit easier for Slardar to get in with the sprint and stun multiple people. We actually see Lifestealer is able to come over here and pick up that Aegis with the kill on Roshan. He's going to go to farming over here, regenerating a significant amount of health here on these creeps. He finishes his Assault Curious. He might actually be, I don't know if he's going to look to finish up that last slot. He might try and do it with a heart or something, but typically you want to leave that last slot open for things like, hey, token of life.
And on a hero like that, I mean,
Hold on. Yasha on Tinker. He's gonna go Mana Styles.
oh yes, I love it.
He's
I love it.
pushing Tinker. He's just gonna blow stuff down.
He is
so many
definitely-
illusions.
Oh my god, there it is. It's
That
done.
is something else.
Not bad.
All right. I mean, I understand it. I know the reasoning, but I think I would have maybe liked to see Shiva's, just because you figure the slow on like Slardar and Ursa when they don't have the blinking capabilities yet. It's gonna make them, easier to kite, and it's gonna slow down their ability to initiate. But I guess if he really does just want to keep up this pushing the other lanes bit that he's doing, then sure, that's fine. I guess. But the Shivas would also help him push too. So
That's true, I suppose. Either way, it's not a huge deal. But and then now he can do the thing I was talking about, where he can get rid of that Slaughter debuff. You know what I mean?
that's true.
Very, very important for a Tinker. Critical.
I still think I like Shiva's guard better, but no, what can you do? He did buy it. We'll have to see what he can do with it. I'm up for him being able to prove me wrong.
At this farm rate, he'll have a Shiva's guard in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty true. He's already up to 1,700 gold. See, the dire gold advantage is creeping up to kind of a ridiculous 18,000. Unfortunately, the Radiant haven't had much control of the game. Just a nice little bump there at the beginning. Hopefully they can pull something together here. I mean, gold advantage, they can definitely overcome that with some good team fights. They definitely have the team fight potential here. There's a lot of AoE. There's a lot of damage from the wards and such. Yeah, I think they can definitely turn this around if the other team pushes, but they're just pushing the lanes, farming these lanes, and just continuing to flesh out their backpacks.
I didn't know backpacks had flesh.
Well, they do in Dota 2. Little known fact. Everybody knows that.
Very little known fact. I think I'd like, well, I guess let's see what they got over here. I was going to say, I want to see Dust on at least one of these int heroes, for one thing. Dazzle probably make the most sense, but, I mean, they have no way to really see that, except for Slaughter ult, to see Invis hero. Bounty Hunter, that's his name. I just call him the Invis hero.
Yeah,
because that's all I care
it's either
about.
him or Riki, at this point, until like
Either's annoying.
until Assassin comes in the game. Let's see what they actually name him, Nerubian Assassin, because they probably won't name him Nerubian, as we saw Weaver, which is called Weaver, but calling him just Assassin, that's going to be really kind
Call him
of
Pub Stomper.
weird. There you go. Yes, the ruiner of pub games.
Oh my god.
So for now, it's one of two. Yeah, you think you could also put some sentry wards beyond the tower, so that he's probably going to sit like he is right now, actually just outside the middle lane. So if they put a sentry ward out there, they would be able to get some vision of him. So that's an option if they do keep this kind of tight noose around the Radiant base. But yeah, some kind of invis detection is kind of important.
Yeah, and they're obviously not focused as much as that. I mean, they have 3 lanes they have to hold off just because of this Tinker. He's, I mean, the mana style, it's not really showing to be such a bad thing after all. I mean, they aren't doing a ton of damage. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, look at those images push. But, every little bit helps, and, they does add the attack speed and the damage, and, whatever. Let's just say it's an okay item and keep it at that. But he's, every single time, one of these lanes push out, just even to like, I don't know, 2,000 yards out, he ports to it instantly and takes care of the creep wave. So I guess maybe they're going to consider trying to do some sort of split push or something. And I don't think any of these heroes on the Radiance can handle like a Lifesteal one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Shadow Shaman could probably hold his own in a lane with his ultimate. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier, I think they could probably still win a team fight at this point, but if they keep up this split push, then they're never going to get a good opportunity to get the team fight that they would really want. I think the Dire is doing a really strong job of making this game work to their advantage, and kudos to them for doing that.
Yeah, they really are doing a great job of it. And this is where Venomancer can start shining again with the pushing aspect of the game. Actually, yeah, it looks like a little initiation here. Slardar picked up his BKB as long as everyone else in the whole world. Actually, Bounty Hunter getting trapped with all those wards there. Does end up going down. No one actually gets the kill, but that's alright. Look at this big Ursa coming to town. He's not going to be able to catch up, though, to this line. He's going to get stunned. Actually, it's Dazzle, too. Big whoop, though. It's just Dazzle. And then as we come back over here, like, oh, boy, we have another tower to defend, don't we? And it's already down to 390 health. And Leshrac did all he could, but it's just, unfortunately, was not enough.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't able to pick up anything permanent there, but they certainly did a lot of damage to these towers. If they do that again, it's going to be pretty easy for them to get into these Raxes. It's really just, when they decide to try and force that again, obviously they're going to need Bounty Hunter to come up. So there is at least a minute that they have to try and do something. And, with them, speaking of the Radiant, of course, you could obviously Slardar doesn't know the situation with Venomancer down here. He was by himself for a while. Looks like he's going to get some reinforcements now, but that's a pretty easy kill they could pick up. Interesting to see the Venomancer has picked up a Sheep Stick of his own. And Slardar finally does finish his Assault Curious, so that will be pretty big in these team fights.
Yeah, I think they should just do an all-in 5 push, because I really don't think the Raid's going to have a chance to stop it if they can get everything they want going right. Lifestealer has an Aegis. Throw on top of that all this damage coming up from this team, I think I'd really... let's see it picked up. We'll see, I guess, what they... the split push can still possibly work with Tinker, just because he's just so good at it. And let's see, he's 4,300 gold. I have no idea what he's going to build next. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully, let's just see like a, I don't know, Chrysalis or something fun.
I mean, he's building agility items, so he might just go for something like that. Just get a B-Fly, so you get dodge against, Ursa and Slardar, why not?
Battle Tinker.
I mean, obviously it's kind of late for something like a Yule Scepter, but I feel like that was kind of an item that both sides could have picked up this whole game that would have been pretty useful, but just nobody got. Oh well. I still think Shivas would be a good pickup for him. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They're looking like they're trying to set something up. Actually, good blink online. Sheep Stick by the Venomancer. Here comes Ursa with a BKB. Wow, that was a waste. And now that duration's going to get lowered by another second. Actually, looks like there's a catch. Leicester goes down. There goes the Aegis. He's going to pop up, though, and they're scared. Why are they scared?
Well, yeah, okay. Well, they didn't know where the rest of the team was. I'll give them that. They kind of just did want to take the, the advantage there by, disabling the Aegis, but yeah, they probably should have looked to set something up.
In hindsight.
Yeah, maybe if the Nature's Prophet put up a Sprout and then, Windrunner shackle shot it and then Nature's Prophet turned the trees into trees.
Only pros can handle that combo.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing thing that you hear about in legend and story in our 5th podcast. But anyway,
plug away.
Yes,
plug away.
plug.
Wow.
We will have to see if I'm surprised Venomancer isn't actually keeping a tighter bottle on this bottom lane. Actually, you can just set up a nice little field of wards and stop those creeps from pushing out very far. You get up a whole set of wards and you can easily destroy waves. It looks like, there might actually be some good initiation here. No Blink Daggers. This is why you would rather see that than Assault Curious. Yeah, it's pretty useful, but it's only useful if you can attack people. Now they're going to look to turn this around. Bounty Hunter just tearing Dazzle apart. Shallow Grave will be applied. Good wards. Will we see some CC? No, he will not. Bounty Hunter is able to take out Shadow Shaman. It looks like he will be able to also take out Dazzle, and he's going to get away scot-free. Very unfortunate. Now Venomancer is going to look to take out this Ursa with the help of Lion. Will they be able to get it? Swing and a miss by Lion. In the meantime, though, the top lane is going to be pushed. The tower will go down, and perhaps we will see some Raxes go down. Jay pointing out to me now that Tinker has 7,000 gold. So it looks like he isn't sure exactly about what he would like to get.
Wow, that is a bit unnecessary, to say the least. If he doesn't go Divine Rapier, I'll be pretty heartbroken at this point. I mean, there's no reason not to. Looks like they're going to go for Roshan, which is obviously necessary to push because they're having so much trouble for some reason. This is going to have to go to Bounty Hunter, I would think, just because he's the only one that's remotely close to dying in these fights. I mean, Lifestealer does not need. He's going to have a heart coming up here. We'll have to see how it goes. Terps, with his good manners in all chat, like always.
Of course.
That's just how you have to do it. Actually, Sardar, he's got enough now for a Blink Dagger. I'm really curious to see if that's why he decides to go.
Yeah, you know, it is unfortunate to see that it seems like for the last little while now, actually, the Radiant have been kind of almost checked out of the game, like just some stuff they said in all chat. When they have had opportunities to come back here, you know, you think if they would have had some wards in the bottom lane, they would have seen Venomancer by himself and perhaps could have initiated on him while he was alone. You know, there have been opportunities to pick off heroes and really try and get the game back under control, but you know, when you aren't placing wards at this point in the game, that's kind of just a sign of you know, you're not being able to do anything. And yeah, here we see an ulti placed on Bounty Hunter, but a missed stun by the Slardar means that Bounty Hunter is going to get away. That probably would have been actually a pretty easy pickup. We're going to see a blink by Shadow Shaman. Unfortunately, it doesn't get to the right side of the steps, but here we see a blink by... wait, did Slardar blink?
He bought the Blink Dagger.
He bought the Blink Dagger. And some really unnecessary wards placed by Shadow Shaman. Yep. Top of the BKB, and he looks like he might get away. They really want to push this, though. No support coming from the enemy team yet, and they are going to pick up a kill on Bounty Hunter. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Don't check out yet. You can still pull this together. Looks like Lifestealer actually will clear out the middle lane, though, unfortunately. And Slaughter getting himself into a fight that he is just not going to win. Hopefully he'll be able to get away. Oh, the Blake, he will be able to... Oh, follow-up Blake, he will not be able to get away.
Oh, that's right, you have one.
I forgot about that. Ursa is going to pretend to do things here. I don't really know why he thinks he's going to be able to take down this Lifestealer, unfortunately. Lifestealer will get away just fine. They're going to clear out these creeps and hopefully be able to push... hold this middle lane, stop the creeps from pushing, and defend their other lanes.
Ursa did get the first Roshan.
He did.
That's how useful he's been all game.
Yes. See, this is the problem. Like, you want to get Vladimir's offering first. Great, understand that. You need to get that so you can get the early Roshan kill. You gotta get the BKB because, you know, if you get slowed, you're worthless. You have to get the Blink Dagger because you need to be able to get some mobility in there, and then the whole time you're doing all that, you're not building items to make your ultimate more useful. The only thing in there is the 10 strength you get through the BKB. That's the only thing that's actually increasing the amount of damage you're doing. Well, and of course the Metal Hammer, it's also part of BKB. Unfortunate, one of those unfortunate things about Ursa, and as we can see, he's going to be all big and scurry, chasing down no one, as they lose Raxes in this top lane, unfortunately. Don't die, Mr. Ursa. Now we get to see a nice brawl here in the top lane. Just some fisticuffs are flying. Looks like no one will die here. They'll turn this around, actually, and take down this Lifestealer. He's probably going to go... Oh, he does not get a Magic Immune yet. He will get CC'd and held in place here. Will they be able to take him out? The ultimate Bio-Leshrac was used there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I believe so.
He used it.
Use that to help take down that Lifestealer. Ursa picks up the kill there. You know, they keep picking off these heroes, but unfortunately they have to send so many people there that they're losing ground in the other lanes. But here you go. They look to try and do some damage. This Venomancer, he does get a heal right back up. Will they be able to take him down? Yes, Ursa helps make sure that happens. The ultimate damage from Venomancer, bringing everybody very, very low. Tinker's going to come in here, maybe look to clean up. Will Leshrac be able to finish him off? No. And it looks like he will get away. Oh, actually, Ursa will come back and just punch him straight in the face. Tinker buys back. He will probably port down. Looks like a nice CC here by Shadow Shaman, but it's probably give up enough time for Shuriken to come up. A stun from Lion is going to mean that, yes, he will be able to pick up that kill. Will Bounty Hunter now be able to get away? He pops the BKB. Looks like everybody will probably get away. Terp's pursuing maybe a little bit too far. If he gets crowd controlled here, he might go down, but looks like he will not be. He's going to try and put up as much damage as he can to these two heroes. He does not go down. Ultimate not used twice in those scenarios, unfortunately. Neither was Shiva's guard either, unfortunately.
I mean, I understand you get caught up in the moment sometimes, and like I said, no, it wouldn't have made the end of the world there. But
actually, it probably would have. It
probably would have killed Bounty Hunter. I'm not gonna lie. If you put it on like in the beginning of that fight, which he should have. It probably would have killed Bounty Hunter, but these are just things to point out for all players. You know, it's not only Leshrac. There's plenty of heroes where you just have to remember, be like aware of. First of all, if you buy an item that you have to use, don't forget about it. You know, this isn't League of Legends. You can't just have all passive items and expect to win the game. You know, you have to have a lot of interaction. So just, you know, try to make sure, oh, that's right, I have this item. So even if you're going to forget about it, it sounds kind of new, but at least try to use it like in the beginning of the fight. Just get it out of the way. You know what I mean? Just whatever you can do to help yourself out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just like cue it up in your head. You know, you think like Slardar, he's going to pop sprint, then pop that stun. You know, but if you have a usability, pop the usability, then pop sprint, then pop the stun. So unfortunately, they weren't able to pick out a win here. But, you know, hopefully in some future games, they might be able to pick up a W or two. Thanks for tuning in to this Brocast breakdown, guys. Please submit any feedback you like, and join us again next time.